Welcome to Fry AI. Let's jump right into the news. For our first story, OpenAI signals that it'll destroy startups using its tech to build products. So that's a little bit of a grandiose statement right there, but basically what they're saying in this article is that a lot of startups are using OpenAI's API as their sole business model. And as soon as OpenAI makes some changes to that, or they add the feature themselves, those startups are going to go by the wayside. Now that's pretty true, but it's a little bit exaggerated. So for example, OpenAI just this last week implemented a tool where you could add PDFs to ChatGPT and it will summarize those PDFs for you, or you can ask any question you want about the PDF, a novel or a book, and ask any questions about that book. But you can do anything with it. So if you have a business document and you want to ask questions about that business document, you could upload that to ChatGPT and ask it anything you want about it. There's a lot of companies that already do this out there before ChatGPT implemented this tool, and now those startups are kind of useless. There's no use case for them anymore. Why would anyone go to those startups when they can just go to ChatGPT and use that? It's probably going to do a better job for them anyways. And that begs the question, like, where does it end? You know, ChatGPT just released a feature on their chatbot the other day where DALL-E 3 can be used within the chatbot. Midjourney was another huge image generation player out there, and now are people going to stop using that? I mean, that was like $1 billion company. Is that going to go by the wayside? We'll see. I mean, ChatGPT and OpenAI could be a huge monopoly here in the AI space, because as soon as they stop letting you use their API, it's lights out for your business. So you got to be careful if you're a startup to not base everything around OpenAI, which is very hard to do. But the reason why I say it's kind of misleading a little bit is because there's also other ways around it. You can use open source Llama 2, or you could use Claude.ai for your startup. As long as ChatGPT or OpenAI don't come out with an exact tool that does what you do, you could be okay. You just got to make sure your startup has something very unique that you don't think ChatGPT or OpenAI is going to implement themselves, or another large player like Claude.ai. Let's go on to the next story. This is kind of a heartwarming story. AI to help solve the homelessness crisis. According to recent data, the number of people without a place to live in LA County now tops 75,000 people. Imagine that. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a population of a little bit, I think, under 400,000. 75,000 people in one county is a lot, and they're throwing billions and billions of dollars at it. It's only gotten worse from what it seems like. So hopefully AI can help. For example, one of the recipients of this program says she got a call from an AI County homeless prevention caseworker, and they gave her an offer she couldn't refuse. They gave her rental assistance, security deposit for a new apartment, fixing her car, purchasing basic needs for their home. This is done by the LA County Homelessness Prevention Unit of Housing for Health. They're using AI, and they use it by grabbing a bunch of data from various county systems, and the CPL, which is the California Policy Lab, helps predict which county service recipients are the highest risk of homelessness. So these homelessness prevention programs, the main thing they need help with is identifying who is going to be homeless next. So AI is being used from the data that's already been gathered to figure out who's at the highest risk of homelessness. And then these programs directly call these people and reach out to them directly to find out if they need help. And if they do, they can give them assistance right away, which is really cool. So we'll see how it goes. Again, homelessness is not an easy problem to solve, and we can only hope that AI can help them solve the homelessness problem in California and a lot of other large US cities. We'll go on to another story here, another story based in California. So California, as you know, it's been hit with a lot of empty office space, especially in the downtown area. A lot of it's due to remote workers and COVID. San Francisco is struggling to get businesses to come back downtown. But there was a story about a AI smoothie shop that opened in downtown San Francisco, and what they would do is an AI model would take customer orders and preferences to generate smoothie recipes that would then be blended by hand by the co-founders who own the shop. And supposedly it was pretty good, but it shut down. It opened in September and it just shut down in this October, and everyone's wondering what's going on. Now, it begs the question, was this because of the San Francisco problem with not many businesses being open in Market Street in particular, or is it because the business of AI smoothies was just not good. Nobody's gonna know. But one thing to note is that San Francisco endures the highest office vacancy rate in its history and the highest retail vacancy rate since 2006. So it's very hard to survive in San Francisco right now if you're a retailer. And maybe that's what caused their shutdown. I mean, I don't wish them to be shut down, but we'd rather have that than it be an AI problem. And then an economist goes on to say that there's a warning for San Francisco in particular that if the retail keeps leaving and remote workers keep leaving the city, it could cause this doom loop where the city becomes sort of a ghost town, and no one wants to see that. Now, one thing to contradict that is there's a lot of hope that AI is going to save the day in San Francisco, sort of like the tech boom in the 90s, that everyone's going to flood back into San Francisco and make it a AI tech hub, which will bring the retail and office crowd back. That really hasn't happened yet. You know, I think that we're going to see probably a slowdown before we see a pickup in AI, just because like with anything, there's peaks and valleys with new technology. So we might have to weather another storm coming up, especially with the economy, if that gets worse, before we see AI really take off. And then it could help San Francisco in a better way. And lastly, our tool tonight is called Find. Now, this is really cool. It's a coder tool. It helps developers code and computer programmers code. ChatGPT 4 already can do that for you, can help you out. But supposedly, Find does a better job for you. So it's phind.com. And this is supposedly beating out ChatGPT in terms of coding. Now, I did the simple example. I'm a programmer at heart. That's what I did before I started doing these videos. But you can say, please code me a box that goes across the screen on a web app. So just some simple thing I came up with, and it produced all the code for you. So it's incredible. I mean, you can put this into a website right now and it will work. It's pretty awesome. And then it goes on to thoroughly describe everything as well. And the cool thing about it is at the bottom of it, you know, it has more follow-up questions. You can rate it. You can have it rewrite it if you're not happy with the results. So we can try that. You can also use ChatGPT 4 to see how that works compared to your Find results. It's pretty amazing. The interface is real nice. And this is going to beg the question, are developers going to go away like computer programmers? I think potentially they could in the long run, and those programmers and developers will sort of turn into managers of AI tools. So instead of developers actually coding stuff like this by hand, they will use prompts to do their code for them, and they'll be more of a prompt manager than they will be a coder at heart, because it will be a waste of time. Why would you code all this when you can just plug in a sentence and it will do it for you? You could do it as a hobby, I guess, but I think 5-10 years from now, there's not going to be too many developers left. I hope that's wrong because I love coding, but we'll see. So that's it for tonight. Thanks so much as always for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night. This is Ryan signing out. Please subscribe to our email newsletter at fry-ai.com/subscribe. Take care.